So, hello friends, myself Ajay Raj Singh. So again, I'll continue with the discussion of previous year's question paper of UPSC asked in GS paper 1. So in the previous lecture, we were discussing the questions of year 2022. There are 3 questions were remaining to be discussed that I am going to discuss today. They were asked in GS paper 1. So the next question is, examine the potential of wind energy in India. What is the potential? Here the question is potential of wind energy in India. They are not asking the installed capacity. Most of the people end up writing what is the installed capacity. You need not write about the installed capacity, rather write about what is the potential. What is the potential of wind energy in India? And the second part of the question is, explain the reasons for the limited aerial spread. Why this wind energy plants are not dispersed across the country, why they are confined in certain states, in certain locations. That is the second part. So if we discuss the potential of wind energy, it can be discussed under 2 heads. Onshore potential, that is potential of wind energy on land, and second is wind energy potential offshore potential, that is on sea. Wind blows uninterrupted over sea. Over land, friction of topography is there, so wind energy does not attain so much velocity. But along the coastal areas, there are certain areas where the wind velocity is high. If you see onshore potential, then India's onshore potential is 695 gigawatt up to 120 meter above ग्राउंड लेवल. जमीन से 120 मीटर ऊपर तक इतना पोटेंशियल है. एंड अप टू 150 मीटर अगर हम देखें, देन द विंड एनर्जी पोटेंशियल इज 1100. व्हाट हैपेंड? 1164 GB गीगावाट, नॉट जीबी, गीगावाट. अगर 150 मीटर की हाइट तक हम पोटेंशियल देखें, देन दैट इज बेसिकली 1164 गीगावाट. अप टू 120 मीटर इट इज दिस 695 गीगावाट. इन केस ऑफ ऑफशोर, ऑफशोर में तो इतना पोटेंशियल है जिसकी लिमिट ही नहीं है. बट with the present level of technology, kitna feasible hai? As the technology enhances, the potential goes on increasing. The feasible offshore wind energy potential along Indian coast is estimated to be 432 gigawatt. This is the feasible that we can tap with the present level of technology. Oceans में wind farms लगा के we can tap it. स्टेट वाइज पोटेंशियल देखा जाए, इफ यू सी स्टेट वाइज, ओवरऑल देयर इज लार्ज पोटेंशियल इन 8 states. The 4 states which have maximum potential of wind energy are Gujarat, Rajasthan, Karnataka and Maharashtra. These are the 4 states which have maximum potential, not installed capacity. Installed capacity तो तमिलनाडु में highest है, but तमिलनाडु में ज़्यादा potential नहीं है onshore. This is the onshore potential. These 4 states lead all other states in terms of onshore wind energy potential. Now, reasons for the limited spread of wind energy farms. Reason simple है, because high velocity winds are not available everywhere. High velocity winds usually coastal areas में, from sea high velocity winds are there along the coastal areas. Consistent wind system are not found in every part of the country. एक तो ये है. Second, wind farms के लिए सबसे बड़ा challenge है acquisition of land. भाई wind farm जमीन पे अगर लगाते हो onshore, then you need to acquire land, and acquiring land from farmer is a challenging issue. Third, कई बार ऐसा होता है, देर आर सर्टन वेरी सुटेबल लोकेशंस वेयर विंड इज ब्लोइंग वेरी कंसिस्टेंटली, लाइक लद्दाख रीजन में चले जाओ, Basically, huge wind potential is there, but lack of adequate transmission infrastructure is there. How will you bring that energy to the areas where it is required? Ladakh mein to itni zarurat hai nahi, population base is very small. So even if you have the potential of generating wind energy in Ladakh region, how will you transmit that energy to the areas of consumption? Lack of adequate transmission infrastructure also acts as a bottleneck in the expansion of wind energy farms. Then different states have different policies, inconsistent policies of different states, and bureaucratic hurdles also create a delay in opening up these plants. Bureaucratic delays in obtaining clearances, they have a demotivating impact on investors. Investors कहते हैं यार इतनी delay लगाने में लग गई. So therefore India's ease of doing business index, India does not rank very high, and one of the major reason is high rate of tariffs that India apply, and second, bureaucratic red tapeism that delay the clearances of these projects. That also acts as a major hurdle. और next वजह ये है कि these wind farms are said to be destructive for biodiversity. Wind energy projects face opposition due to concern about wildlife impacts. जहाँ जहाँ ये लगे हैं बेसिकली कई बार कई बर्ड्स होती हैं वो चिड़िया इनसे टकरा के मर जाती हैं. So they also generate noise pollution. मतलब wind energy projects face opposition due to wildlife impact and also due to its noise pollution. That is the reason that these projects are not extensively spread over the country, rather they have limited aerial spread. Now next question. Troposphere is very significant atmospheric layer that determines weather processes. They are saying troposphere is a very significant atmospheric layer that determines weather processes. Weather processes. Yes, all visible weather phenomena, troposphere happens to be the lowermost layer of the atmosphere. Troposphere के ऊपर stratosphere है, then basically mesosphere है, then ionosphere है, then exosphere है. Troposphere is the lowermost layer of the atmosphere. It is all visible weather phenomena or weather activities are confined to troposphere except cirrus clouds. Cirrus clouds do not have any weather activity, they are indicative of well settled weather. लेकिन बस cirrus clouds होते हैं, they are created because of jet streams that carry frozen ice crystals into stratosphere. Otherwise, troposphere is the lowermost part of the atmosphere in which we live, where most cloud forms and where all weather activities take place. Sari weather activities, cyclones, anticyclones, thunderstorms, all the moisture, all the dust particles are confined to troposphere. In fact, troposphere accounts for 75% of the total atmospheric gases. So it contains practically all moisture and dust particles, and average height of troposphere is 14 kilometers. Although its height is more at equator it is 18 kilometer high, and it slopes down towards poles. At poles its height is just 8 kilometer. This is because rising convective activities along equator, the height of troposphere is high, and the height of troposphere slopes down towards poles. Towards poles its height is just, it is like this. At equator the height of troposphere is 18 kilometer above equator. Above poles its height is just 8 kilometer. Here 18 kilometer. This is because of convective activities that take place along equator. Troposphere is also known as convective region because all convective activities are confined to troposphere. Why? Because in troposphere temperature decreases with height. The mean rate of decrease is a normal lapse rate, that is 6.5 degrees centigrade per kilometer. Although actual decrease in temperature with height varies from place to place and time to time. Since temperature decreases with height, troposphere में क्या है, as we move up temperature goes on decreasing. At any place, at any time, this rate of decrease varies, and this is known as environmental lapse rate. It is because of decrease in temperature with height, this surrounding environment provide buoyancy and the vapors or the air parcels goes on rising. That is convective activity, convective transport. Moisture, vapors or air rises in troposphere because in troposphere temperature decreases with height. As a result, the adjoining atmosphere always remains denser, and it pushes the vapors or air parcels above that lead to the formation of clouds, rainfall, and all the weather phenomena. This is known as convective activity. This convective activity ceases at the top of troposphere, which is known as tropopause. Tropopause. No vertical transfer of physical properties is possible beyond tropopause by way of convective activity. Convective means vapors are rising. Vapors tropopause से ऊपर नहीं rise कर सकते. Moisture cannot rise beyond tropopause. Why? Because beyond tropopause here lies stratosphere. Stratosphere, where the formation of ozone takes place. Ultraviolet radiations, they are absorbed by oxygen molecule which dissociate into oxygen atom, and these oxygen atom combine with oxygen molecule to form ozone. Selective absorption of ultraviolet radiation takes place in stratosphere that lead to the formation of ozone. As a result, above troposphere, temperature of the environment starts increasing. In stratosphere, temperature rises with height, and when the environment starts becoming warmer, it is unable to provide buoyancy. So all the vapor and moisture, they pile up below tropopause. Tropopause acts as level of inversion because beyond which the temperature of the environment starts increasing because of selective absorption of ultraviolet radiation by oxygen molecule which dissociate and form ozone molecule. So all the convective activity, all the vapor, all dust particles are confined to tropopause. Tropopause acts as a level of inversion, which it acts as a vertical lid that does not allow transport of physical properties by way of convective mechanism. Now, various types of clouds like thunderstorms, cyclones, anticyclones all get formed in troposphere, and almost all moisture and all dust particles, aerosols, are confined to troposphere. Its upper limit is marked by tropopause, which acts as a level of inversion, and therefore no convective transport is possible beyond this. अब cirrus clouds यहाँ कैसे बन जाते हैं? Because of jet streams, because of the intense velocity, at times they pierce through tropopause because of the velocity and carry some ice crystals that lead to the formation of cirrus clouds. So it's true, troposphere is a very significant atmospheric layer that determines the weather processes. That was the answer. Now next, describe the distribution of rubber producing countries. Very simple. Discuss the distribution of rubber producing countries. See, you must a political map, वर्ल्ड पॉलिटिकल मैप होता तो और अच्छा रहता. चलो कोई बात नहीं, नहीं भी है तो भी. Now see, this rubber production, discuss the distribution of rubber producing countries and indicate the major environmental issues faced by them because of rubber cultivation. तो rubber producing countries क्या है? एशिया, साउथ एशिया, साउथ ईस्ट एशिया इज द मेजर हब. ये पूरा साउथ एशिया, साउथ ईस्ट एशिया, ये दिस इज द हब. यहां देखो, लार्जेस्ट प्रोड्यूसर इज थाईलैंड, सेकेंड लार्जेस्ट प्रोड्यूसर इज इंडोनेशिया, थर्ड लार्जेस्ट प्रोड्यूसर इज वियतनाम, fourth largest producer is Ivory Coast, Côte d'Ivoire in Africa. Ivory Coast. Fifth is India. Sixth is China. And then you can see Philippines, seventh. And then with Laos, Cambodia, Myanmar, Bangladesh, Malaysia, Indonesia, Brunei, Papua New Guinea, all the countries of Southeast Asia and East Asia, मतलब यहाँ पर जितने भी countries है ना, सारे rubber producing. Here Brazil, Ecuador, Colombia, Bolivia in South America. In Africa, Central African Republic, Gabon, Cameroon, Nigeria, Liberia. These are the major rubber producing countries. Now, this environmental hazards. Natural forests with huge biodiversity. जहाँ जहाँ rubber plantation होती है, it requires heavy rainfall and it takes place at a certain height. The natural biodiversity was so immense that has been replaced by rubber monoculture. The natural forest with huge biodiversity replaced by monoculture of rubber plantation. This has resulted in loss of many species, ultimately making them extinct. क्योंकि वहाँ केवल पहले बहुत डाइवर्सिटी थी. Now only rubber plantations are there. Rubber plantation lead to soil degradation and decline in soil fertility. मतलब soil की quality भी खराब होती है और fertility भी. The extensive use of pesticides, herbicides and fertilizer also pollute the soil. Rubber industry uses significant amount of water for irrigation, which leads to depletion of water resources and pollution of water bodies due to discharge of agrochemicals. So these are the adverse impact of rubber cultivation of rubber in rubber growing countries. A simple factual questions है, इनमें कुछ भी नहीं है. Now next, mention the significance of straits and isthmus in international trades. What is the significance of straits and isthmus in international trade? Straits होते क्या हैं? Straits are narrow water bodies that separate two land masses and connect two seas. Straits are narrow water bodies. जैसे you see, this is Straits of Malacca, a very important trading route that separates Sumatra and Malaya Peninsula. The Straits of Bab al Mandab that connect Red Sea to Arabian Sea. Straits of Hormuz that connects Persian Gulf to Arabian Sea. Magellan Strait that connects Atlantic Ocean to Pacific Ocean. Nares Strait through which Labrador Current enters. Gibraltar Strait that connects Atlantic Ocean to Mediterranean Sea. Straits are narrow water bodies which connect two seas and separate two land area. देखो, they are separating these two land area and connecting two seas. They are very vital for the passage of trading mercantile vessels. Isthmus क्या होता है? Isthmus is a thin strip of land that connects two land area and separate two water body. Isthmus जैसे क्या है? यहाँ पर तुम देखो, the thickness of land is very less in Thailand. यहाँ पर if you see, the thickness of land is very, जैसे तुम स्विस कैनाल को देखो, यहाँ पर द लैंड, दिस नैरो स्ट्रिप ऑफ लैंड इज वेरी थिन. यहाँ सीज हैं कई सारे, उसको काट के दे कनेक्ट कैनाल. स्विस कैनाल हैज बीन कंस्ट्रक्टेड अक्रॉस isthmus of Suez, like Panama Canal. Panama Canal has been constructed by Isthmus of Panama. Isthmus of Panama, here is this is a narrow piece of land that separates this Caribbean Sea to Atlantic Ocean. This narrow passage of land was cut by way of canal, and Panama Canal was constructed. This reduced huge distance. Previously, before construction of Suez, Isthmus of Suez is a narrow stretch of land that connects two land areas and separate two water bodies. Isthmus of Isthmus of Suez was cut to construct Suez Canal. Now the trade takes place via Mediterranean Sea, Suez Canal and Red Sea. Otherwise, previously they had to move across Cape Horn route that was very long. Here Panama Canal likewise has been constructed across Isthmus of Panama that has reduced the distance. Otherwise they had to navigate all across South America. Now they just bypass this route. So these isthmus and straits have facilitated the trading routes, trade among the countries by shortening the distance, reducing the time and reducing the cost, and that has enabled various countries to trade among themselves. So this was the significance. This is the significance of straits and isthmus.